Hi, this is Sean Degman, and welcome to my Teacher Toolbox. I used WordPress.com to make my Teacher Toolbox. The tools that I will be talking about are Keynote, Book Creator, Shobi, Explain Everything, and Educreations. These are all iPad apps, and according to the Horizon report, each one of these would fall under the mobile learning because they are used on tablets, and they are also semi-connected to cloud computing because things like Explain Everything, Education, Shobi are connected to cloud accounts and all of these can be connected with Google Drive, which is a cloud account, and we'll get into more of those details later. So the first one we're going to start with is Keynote, and on this website, if you click on Keynote, it'll take us to the new slide or the new web page. And on here, you can see some great facts I've written about Keynote. And I personally think Keynote is a great presentation tool for teachers to use to create presentations for their classroom. It's also a great way for students to show what they know by creating presentations. And I've had in my school teachers use Keynote themselves and also have their students create presentations. If you look down here, here are 5 more great ideas of how Keynote can be used. If you click on that, it opens up you to a new tab to Mike Sammartano's website, where he gives you some other great ideas of how to use Keynote. If we close out of that and come back here. Also, if you come down here, there is a YouTube video embedded that shows you the basics on how to use Keynote. So if we go back to our Teacher Toolbox and we go on to our next video, or our next app is Book Creator. And Book Creator, like Keynote, is a creation app. All of these you'll notice, besides Shobi, are creation apps. Book Creator is a great way for kids to be creative. I think it can be used in the younger grades as well as the upper grades. You'll notice that as we get into things like Explain Everything, they get a little more complicated, so younger kids might not be as good at them as the older kids are. But I think Book Creator is a great one that's younger kids can use. It's a great way to create things because you can add pictures, voices, customize it, crop. It does pretty much everything. If you look, we have a few videos here. This first one is how to use Book Creator, a how-to. And then if you click down on this link, it'll link you to an example of books that have been created by students using Book Creator. So we can close out of that. Go back again to the main page of our Teacher Toolbox, and then we're going to click on our third app called Shobi, which Shobi is the only one out of these 5 apps that is not a creation app. This Shobi is almost like an Edmodo or some sort of central location for teachers to share files with students and for them to share them back with students. So if I click on Shobi and let it load, and as we scroll down, you will see we have a few videos. We have a video that compares the traditional way of classroom workflow versus using Shobi. You have a way of how Keynote, an app we talked about earlier, can be used with Shobi. You have a video on just how to use Shobi. You have, as you will call it, like a teacher training activity. And then you have how Explain Everything, an app we will be talking about, can be used with Shobi. Shobi is a great app, and I have lots of teachers in my school use it because it's a very easy way to share files and documents and presentations with everyone in your class at once. It also lets them to take whatever file you give them and open it up in whatever app you want them to open it up in, edit it, manipulate it, read it, look at it, whatever you need them to do with it, save it, and then send it back to you, and you can see their new updated version. It gives you a lot of other possibilities on top of that. As watch the videos and learn more about the app, you'll find out. But I think Shobi is a great app to use in a classroom. It kind of brings all the other apps together. So if we go back then to our Teacher Toolbox, and we look at the next one, Explain Everything, which personally, I think Explain Everything is one of the best apps a teacher can have. It's my favorite app to use. It can do literally, like it's called, almost everything. So if you look, here is a review about Explain Everything from Edudemic. Then down here we have some examples, and these are actually in here. This ecosystem project and this Turkey story are two examples from students in my school that they made using Explain Everything. Then here is another tutorial for teachers, another teacher training activity that you could watch to learn the basics of how Explain Everything is used. Explain Everything is something that you can watch as many videos, and there's always going to be something new that you think of or a student thinks of that is a new creative way to use it. If we go back now to our last one, EduCreations. Now, EduCreations is a lot like Explain Everything, but to me, it's a younger version of Explain Everything. I like to use Explain Everything with grades 3, 4, 5. I think they really like it. They can do a lot of stuff with it. EduCreations is much better for K1 and even 2. 2 is a toss-up depending on how tech-savvy the students are. But definitely for K1, EduCreations is the way to go. It's not as complicated, can't do as many things, and the things it can do, it does well, and are things that students would need. One big benefit to EduCreations is that you can search, safe web search, images through the app without having to leave it, which is especially helpful for the younger kids because it's hard for them to sometimes navigate between searching the internet for a picture, saving it to their camera roll, opening it up and Explain Everything, adding the picture. So this is a way to expedite that process for these kids. Here is also, this is the one I chose to write my technology enhanced lesson plan. This was a lesson plan that was using 10 frames and addition, using EduCreations that first graders can do, using pictures that they create, and then recording and explaining what they're doing. So I'm going to close out of this. It won't let me close out of it, so hold on. So let me go back to the teacher toolbox. Back to EduCreations. And then if you look down at the bottom of here, I have some examples. This is a tutorial, again, another teacher training activity you can watch. Then here is a how to make a milkshake that a student made. Here's a report on another student that a student did. And then here, this is an example of something you could do that goes along with that lesson plan. So I'll let this play really quick so you can kind of get an idea of how it works.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 Nolan Ryans. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Ryans.
Right, and again, these are pictures that the kid found using the app EduCreations and added them himself. So it gives that student an extra connection to the extra connection to the project they're working on.
Sorry about that. Oopsies. 8 lions.
So you can see the students trying to add 9 plus 8. So what they're going to do is they're going to move one of their Detroit Lion logos up with the Nolan Ryans to make a 10 frame and then see how many they have left at the bottom. Then they'll know 10 plus the 7 that's left equals 17. So then they'll know 9 plus 8 equals 17.
And so I have to put 1 lion to Nolan Ryan. That makes 10. So I got 10. Now I got 10. Now I got 10 plus 7. 10 plus 7, I know that, so it's 17. So 9 plus 8 must be 17. You took longer than me.
All right, so again, this is a great way for the kids to work out the problems out loud, explain them to you with their voice, while also, as you can see, using a pen. It also is a really great way for them to figure things out with their hands-on learning and also being able to work through these problems on their own and figure out their mistakes and figure out what they're doing. So now that you've seen all 5 of the apps that I've gone through, Keynote, Book Creator, Shobi, Explain Everything, and EduCreations, I hope you enjoyed my teacher toolbox, and I hope if you haven't used some of these apps, you will come and give some of them a look and maybe use them in your own class. Thank you so much.